What's up, everybody? I'm Cope,
Matt,
and we're back with another bad movie review. And today's a good day.
Oh yes,
Today's a good day. We're doing a bad movie review on Three-Headed Shark Attack, right here. Now, funny thing is, there is a Two-Headed Shark Attack.
we couldn't find it anywhere.
It was on Netflix, so technically, based on our rules, it's a Netflix or Hulu movie that has 1 star, 2 stars, whatever.
Yes.
Technically, we couldn't do it.
Yeah,
Because it wasn't on those apps.
we couldn't find it.
But maybe down the road we'll get it.
Maybe we'll find it.
We'll waste our money on it.
Yeah.
So we got Three-Headed Shark Attack for you today. And I'm going to let you start this.
This movie made me in pain.
So the shark shows up 30 seconds into the friggin' movie. And there's people partying and, there's drinking and everything going on. So this one girl goes into the water. And the shark attacks her. Instead of any victim, like, they get dragged in. They always get stuff done to that. That's what always happens in a shark attack. No, she decided she was in the Olympics. And she did a belly flop. She just went right into the water. And we're like, wow! How do you get eaten that way? How does that even happen? If the shark's attacking you, belly flop.
Yeah, let me go with it. Come on. But even though, let's get to like the main point of this movie, that it had no basic storyline.
The story was all over the place in this movie. The first 10, 15 minutes of this movie,
I didn't know, like,
we're sitting there going, what's going on?
At first, I
What is
thought it was one
happening?
of those, beach movies where it's the kids just partying, like Piranha.
Okay.
They're all on the beach the
Right.
whole time. And Piranha's like, no. Then all of a sudden, we're in a science lab underwater.
Yeah, I mean, this movie was all over the place for the first 15 minutes.
And
I mean,
then we're on a party boat.
It wasn't until you got to the science lab that you realized that opening scene of the beach and everything was just an opening scene. Was the setup scene and everything, and they didn't stay there. But oh my god, and they're throwing in these characters that you don't know anything at all. They're just throwing all these people at you.
Nobody got really
such a confusing beginning.
Nobody got like a proper introduction.
It was such a confusing beginning. Oh my god. And then, okay. So you meet one of the main characters, and do you know I don't even know all their names.
I couldn't even tell you because they were.
I think they said everyone's name like once, and that was it.
There were times people's names got repeated, but like the only name that sticks out to me is because Rob Van Dam's in the movie.
Oh, that's okay. This movie uses star power as one of its legs to stand on, because in the poster of the movie, as we showed you here, was Danny Trejo
and Rob Van Dam.
And Rob Van Dam did an amazing portrayal in this movie of Rob Van Dam.
Yep.
He did a fantastic job playing himself. And Danny Trejo
was Danny Trejo.
Danny Trejo was Danny Trejo, and he had the face on that he was going to take a mean shit.
Yep.
He had that face most of the movie. But they don't come in until the last third of the movie.
Oh yeah.
So, but yeah, like you were saying, like I know exactly what you're saying. Stanley.
That's
Rob Van Dam's name is the only name we remember in this movie. But no one. They never did anything with these characters. It was like, hey, you're Billy. Oh, Jimmy. Oh, Sally. Oh, Susie. You're all here, and that was it. And you never heard their names again. And everything was moving so fast at the beginning. It was such a confusing beginning.
I couldn't hear them either. It was like we made it louder and louder.
Yeah, and it was just such a confusing beginning that you couldn't even really sink your
comprehend.
teeth into it to really even start watching the movie. But so you meet this main character, one of them, and she's like an intern or something in this underwater science lab.
Which made no sense either, because she was an intern, and then 10 seconds into the movie, everybody's best friends.
Oh yeah, everyone was best friends after that.
This movie was a day, and it seems like she's been working there for years.
So she gets there in this underwater lab, and there's these 2 head scientists that run it, and it's all about pollution in the water, because they're working in this, I guess, circle of garbage. And the lab is underneath it in the water, and they're studying how the pollution from the garbage is affecting the ocean life. So that's what they do down here. And they brought in an activist group, I guess like a nature...
Well, their boat said Earth
something like that. So they were like
Earth P.
They were nature activist group, save nature and the wildlife and ocean life and stuff like that. So they get brought to this lab to, I guess, help
look at garbage.
Well, to help look at the wildlife.
What pollution's doing.
Right, so to help out like that. And the only thing that bugged me about this, and I have it in my notes, is the activist group is filthy. They're dirty.
Yeah, like...
I don't know, like you would think, okay, we have this meeting with this lab and these scientists and everything.
Professional.
We're gonna look forget professional, at least presentable. But it's like they got taken for this meeting straight out of something they were doing. Like, hey, stop saving those animals and come to this meeting. All their shirts and pants were dirty. Like, it didn't even make sense to me. Like, are you trying to portray that they're hardworking activists?
Did you notice, though, halfway through that the dirt was gone?
Yep. Yes, I did. And you can't say, oh, well, the water from the ocean wiped it away. That's bullshit. So, I was just like, is that what they're trying to portray here? Is that they're activists, so let's make them dirty because they're working hard. Like, that's not how you portray hardworking people. Just rub dirt all over them.
Then you see the scene where they're scuba diving.
Oh, man.
They're underwater, they're scuba diving, I guess they're doing their samples and stuff, and you see them...
They have clipboards.
Clipboards. Like, at first I was like, okay, maybe there's something holding it, but then they're writing on paper.
It's paper!
It's...
In the ocean.
Underwater, and they're writing...
And at first, I'm sitting there and I'm going...
Is that paper?
Is that paper?
That's
That's
paper.
Is that a piece of paper? Yes, it's fucking paper. It's paper!
They wrote underwater with paper.
And don't give me that it's waterproof paper because they're advanced scientist shit. It's fucking paper. And it didn't even look like mushy, like it absorbed the water. It was like a dry piece of paper in the ocean.
Yeah, I can write on this underwater, see?
So there's one part where one of the head scientists, don't remember his name either, and he brings them to a specimen room where there's these like two scientists working and they have all little ocean life, but they all have mutations. Like one has like this big fin that it's not supposed to, another one has weird teeth.
Like a crab mixed with a...
Yeah, they were all weird mutations.
The seahorse.
Some weird shit, going on. So the lead scientists would explain to them how they get these specimens and every so often they get one of mutation. So he says this.
Every fourth or fifth specimen we pull from the scenic area manifests a mutation. We keep them all here to study.
Which is fine. And then a minute later, he says this.
Every fourth or fifth specimen we pull from the ocean in this area manifests a mutation. We keep them all here to study.
Yep. They just repeat dialogue in this movie.
They repeat backdrop too, because like apparently the whole movie they're sitting in the boat.
And they're just driving past that one piece of land. And it's like, hey Matt, nice shirt. And a minute later I'm just like, hey Matt, nice shirt.
I think the whole movie they were just not moving. I think they were anchored to make it look like they were moving.
Okay, this isn't really a bad point. It's not like really integral to the movie at all. But it was just funny to see. And when we saw it, we laughed. So I'm just going to show it. This.
It's like that's where all the action is. That's what I'm talking about. Let's go.
Yeah, just because it was an awkward thing. Like they're running, she's just like, come on. So we just had to show that one.
Oh, with
the guy. So the shark is attacking.
The shark's attacking the building, or whatever.
The underwater facility.
Underwater facility, and things are blowing up and stuff, and there's explosions and stuff. So you go to a room with a guy, and this guy just jumps backwards in through a wall. And then the explosion happens.
But he was really early on that jump.
It was just
really early.
He was like, yeah.
This guy right here, him. He's bad, and I mean, he's bad for bad movie standards. He's the worst actor I've ever seen in one of these bad movies. He's just so emotionless. He's
not the only one in the movie.
He's so monotone. No, he's worse than them, though. He's so bad at acting, and I'm going to show you why in this one clip. Watch it.
We're evacuating down here. I'm going to try to seal it off.
You've got to get out of there, Brian. Get out. Get out now, Brian.
There's no way out.
Level C. Anyone copy on level C? I've got fires all over down there.
Thank you. That's why. He's so bad. I couldn't even fucking take it that when the underwater facility blew up, I was happy knowing that him specifically was
Oh.
now dead.
Oh no.
Oh,
Are you
gotta,
okay?
You gotta get out of there.
Get out. The one guy, they get out of the facility because it's blowing up, and they're standing on the beach, and they're like, we have to get to the boat, so the one guy swims to the boat. Now the other guy goes, I'm going to go help him. So he jumps in the water and starts swimming. And when you look at it, he's just missing a shoe. There's no reason behind the shoe missing, there's just shoe, foot. Then he gets pulled up onto the boat, and he's wearing both his shoes.
It was just
It was just a quick glance.
when what's it called? Continuity.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a continuity issue that he had no shoe and then he had a shoe.
But there was no reason for him not to have a shoe to begin with.
He was swimming so fast he swam out of his shoes.
Like, maybe did they mess up when he ran into the water and his shoe got stuck in the sand, or like?
I don't know. So this next part, and again, don't remember her damn name. And I'm not even. We could easily just go on IMDb and look up all these people's names. I don't care that much.
No, yeah.
I don't.
They're not important.
So we're gonna call her Dumb Girl 1 because they're standing on the edge of the island waiting for the boat to come, and as of this point, the shark is attacking. Like it's just swimming around the boat. It's more focused right now. It's occupied with the boat. So they're on land, and as of right now, they're safe. The facility already blew up. So it's not like the whole island is going to explode. As of right now, they're okay. And this girl goes...
Guys, I can't stay here. We're gonna die if we don't leave. Alan, wait!
Why? Why?
She's dumb girl.
Why do you need to leave and go onto the boat? And the best part was, the plan was to get the boat and bring it back to land for them to get on.
No, so she jumped in.
So you go to the boat just to come back to land? Well, what got me even more than that was the fact that nobody could stop her.
Nope.
Nobody stopped her. No, wait, don't go. Well, why don't you just fucking grab her?
And then the one guy ran after her.
And he died.
Yes.
The shark ate him because he went to go chase Dumb Girl 1. But guess what? Dumb Girl 1 made it onto the boat. And he died.
Dumb girl lived to pretty much the end of the movie.
So they're on this boat now, and
The booze cruise.
before that,
Oh no,
they radio to what ends up being Danny Trejo's boat.
Yeah.
And, he's like, oh, there's a 3-headed shark attack. And Danny Trejo's like, oh, I don't know, this is just a fishing boat.
Yes.
We're not the Coast Guard, you got on the wrong channel. They're a fishing boat, which is fine. But he ends up saying, oh, you know what, we're going to come help you. We're gonna come help. So he ends up driving towards them. You don't see him for another, half hour of the movie, but you know that now he's on his way. Him and his two friends on the fishing boat.
Danny Trejo's on the way to save the day.
On a fishing boat. You're going to understand why I'm emphasizing that in a minute. So now what we find out is the main characters, they're on their boat, and they're going towards a booze cruise.
Yes. So that whole thing goes on, this party's going on, and then the shark bumps into the boat. Because it's attacking the people on the boat. And what happens on the boat?
This happens on the boat.
And then you see the one person who went the opposite direction everybody else went.
So
it just made no sense.
Adding to unemotional people in this movie
Is
the
other two favorite
captains of the booze cruise. And I just didn't understand why they were even in the movie. You were better off just having two. I mean,
just
my brother just threw it out a couple of weeks ago, but he had a John Cena cardboard cutout.
That would have been fine.
That would have been more emotion in this role than what these two people did. This is why.
It is pretty hard. We're taking on water.
Yeah, we've lost power on our port side engine. You run down and check the engine room, alert the crew. I'm going to call this in.
Yes, sir.
Mayday, mayday, mayday.
That would have been a more believable role if you just had a cardboard cutout play these people.
Yes.
And I don't understand it only because if you're filming this movie, and even if you're the director, you got to know these people suck.
Yep.
You have to
No,
know.
they don't know, because that's why... I think this movie was on Sci-Fi, so they just get horrible people in their movies anyway.
But overall, you're still making a movie. I mean, we used to make movies in the basement. We wanted better acting than these friggin' people did.
Yeah, but if sci-fi movies always are bad.
God.
Just take Sharknado 1 through 3.
I couldn't even do it.
I was gonna say 4 because it's just in my head.
So now your part with the shark attacking the boat again.
Oh, when it just jumps on the boat?
No.
Or the other one. When
The
it,
people.
Oh, when it bumps into the boat.
Gymnastics.
And the one guy's... Why he was on the edge of the railing, first of all. Because he was outside the boat before he fell. Because he was standing on that railing. And then he was like, yeah! Eat me! And then
The other guy wanted to one-up him.
And he's like, yeah! Eat me too! And just dove off the boat.
He did some kind of leap off
He's
that
like,
friggin' boat, man.
And then that whole scene just reminded me of Disaster
movie.
He's like, yeah, fuck me! Fuck me!
And what got me after that was after both guys leapt into the water, they got shown coming up from underneath. So there was
some random...
guy number 1, guy number 2,
and
boom! Who's this? Who is this?
They had to make sure all 3 heads had to eat. That's what it was.
Yeah, and they actually did
it
it a lot.
They did it a lot in the movie
because there were 2 captains on the booze
and
cruise,
all of a sudden there was a third.
There was a third outside, and the shark ate all 3 of them.
And jumped on the boat. That's exactly when it jumps on the boat.
So, oh yes, the shark jumps on the boat
and eats all 3 captains.
And what got me too is now the shark jumps on the boat a second time, and this is when it tipped over.
Why didn't it tip over?
And the one scientist, the scientist he's falling in.
Yeah.
And that scene 1 went on way too long. And 2,
they were all just laying there.
There was one part where the scientist, it was like they accidentally put in a scene that was supposed to be not an actual scene. Like the camera just kept rolling, and he's just laying there.
He's like, yeah.
He's not flailing. He's not even showing emotion to try to pull himself up. He's literally just like this, just waiting for I guess for them to say action, and they put it in the movie. You meet these 2 people on the boat, on the booze. Actually, you meet 3 people. It's a couple and Rob Van Dam.
But it's funny
because he's got a party. You know,
yeah.
He's Rob Van Dam. He's on this booze cruise. I'm Rob Van Dam. They name me Stanley, but my name is Rob Van Dam. And
booze and drugs.
So, I'm sorry. The boyfriend of this couple gets thrown into a room or something when the boat tips over.
But when you're explaining that, because when I first saw this scene, I literally thought he fell into an opening.
Because he did this whole thing.
Because he was. We'll show you. So he did that, and I was like, oh, why did he fall in the hole? And you're like, it wasn't a hole.
No, because then he just slid.
Yeah, then it was all of a sudden it was a hallway.
But then all of a sudden when they found him, he was buried.
Which...
Like, what the hell happened in there? So after they save him, they bring him back to the main group where the girlfriend was. So she was waiting for them to rescue him. And there was like a dramatic, happy ending slow motion scene.
And you thought that
but
was
it was totally unwarranted because there was a half hour left
in
of the movie.
Yeah.
There they are!
And you only do that kind of dramatic slow motion scene at the end where, you know, you think someone's dead and then they come out and they're alive. And it's like, oh my god, slow motion. And it was just totally just put in this part of the movie and was not necessary.
No.
At all. They escaped the booze cruise and they're now headed towards land, which you find out is the original beach from the first scene of the movie. Only because there's one character that survived from the beginning
which
who ends up popping up here, like all traumatized. Reason. But so as they're making it towards this beach, the boat dies, so they have to swim the rest of the way. But at the same time,
we cut
just in the nick of time,
we cut to Danny
Trejo shows up. And
in his boat.
Yes.
And he's like, alright guys, let's take out this shark.
And then they do this.
We're almost there, guys. Get ready!
I was so taken back by that scene that the only thing I could possibly think of to rationalize it was he was lying on the radio that they were a fishing boat and they were drug runners?
Yeah.
Smuggling something across the ocean? I'm not too sure, but that
first
was
off,
so
I don't even know if it
random.
was an ocean. I still think we were like in a reef or a giant lake.
That assault rifle scene did it for me.
Yeah.
It really, really did.
What did it for me more was when, after that scene, his 2 friends die, and then the shark's on his boat. So Danny Trejo, what does he pull out?
Machete.
Yes. And he just slices away at the shark.
Because just like Rob Van Dam has to be Rob Van Dam, Danny Trejo has to be Machete.
So he cuts off the shark's head, and here comes the boat towards the water. Stops.
In fact, I'm going to tell you, sorry, that unwarranted slow-mo scene might have worked better here.
Yeah. he walks out of the water, casual. First thing I said to him was that shark's going to turn around and eat him. And this was before anything even else.
This is before, yeah.
Nothing happened.
I mean, the shark had just flopped off the boat dead.
Yeah, so you would think it was dead. I was like, the shark's going to turn around and eat him. And what happened? This.
I've never seen anything like that before in my life.
The shark turned around and ate him.
And then a couple seconds later,
So
we
thank you,
find
Danny
out-
Trejo. Thank you for coming.
Yes.
We don't need you anymore.
Then all of a sudden, they're talking to the guy, and and then Rob Van Dam out of nowhere goes, "It's like a hydra.
Yeah,
It gains more heads."
He's like, now we know when you cut one head off, it grows more. And to be honest with you,
we were completely
we didn't know where we
oblivious.
found that out. In fact, we had to go back
Twice.
Twice, and like really, like you know when you
Analyze.
pause and play at the same, like just
We
really
had to
fast.
analyze that scene. All of a sudden,
We had to go frame by frame.
You see 3 little nubs.
And, right after it ate Danny Trejo, so we were like, oh.
Yeah, 'cause
they
we were
really
like-
should have stretched out that point more in that scene so that the audience watching knows that he could do that. Not just
Yeah,
have
'cause
Rob
what-
Van Dam say it later and you have no clue what the hell he's talking about.
It's 3-headed.
So they end up getting these, what'd they call them?
Pontoons.
Pontoons?
Yeah.
Pontoons. The flat.
Boats with the slides and
Yeah.
stuff.
So
More booze.
they get
stuff.
2 of those. So
So they put all the people who were going to die on one boat.
they put all the secondary characters on one boat, and then you have the main girl, the main guy,
and Rob Van Dam.
and Rob Van Dam on the other one. So right away you knew exactly what was going to happen in a few minutes.
Yes, and I was happy. I was like, oh, Rob Van Dam's going to live.
So what happens is the boats start leaving, and the boat in front, driven by dumb girl number 1, somehow ends up being like 100 feet from the second one. Like
Yeah.
if you told her to haul ass, and you didn't
haul
haul
ass
ass
with
back
her.
with her. So right away you're saying, okay, this is
We
the
know
setup. This is exactly what's
Someone's
happening
going to
here.
fall in the water. Someone's going to eat.
Yep.
No, that didn't happen. What happened was...
No, the shark just was very impatient. And he took everyone out. So now it's just down to main girl, main guy, and Rob Van Dam. And they find garbage bags. And
On the boat, which-
their idea is now that the pollution from the garbage drives the shark crazy. So we're going to drive it so crazy that it's going to like
Eat
itself.
Because
Which
you see scenes where it does fight.
it's not fighting against its own heads to eat. So I guess that makes sense. So they have garbage bags full of garbage on the boat.
So Rob Van Dam's
Rob Van Dam's throwing them.
Stanley.
Stanley!
But I'm going to keep calling him Rob Van Dam.
Yep. So he's making a trail of garbage to lure the shark in, and he's just throwing the bags over. And he gets to the very last bag, and suddenly... Yep.
Yeah.
Completely eats his hand off.
And
then he decides, as if no one's ever lived without a hand before.
I'm not going to make
He's like,
it
I'm not going to
anyway."
make it anyway. Throws himself right into the water. You're being a little dramatic, Rob Van Dam.
And as he's swimming, you could see him clenching onto
He's like
that
holding
rag.
the rag as he's
like,
going.
yeah. And like I could swear there's times where I saw his whole palm.
And then you just keep seeing Rob Van Dam swimming, and the other
And then all of a
kid's
sudden he caught up. The
Yes.
other guy. And then Rob Van Dam goes, no!
elbows him right in the face. But then he goes, oh, was her name Maggie? Because he said, take care of Maggie.
Sure.
Yes. Okay, I think main girl's name is Maggie, so we know that. Main guy, Greg? Greg?
Greg.
I want to say Greg.
Yeah, sure.
So now we know. It took until the end of the movie to find out
What their names were.
Maggie, Greg, and Rob Van Dam.
Stanley.
Rob Van Dam.
And the other two are not important.
But Rob Van Dam made it so much more dramatic because he elbows him and he's like, take care of Maggie, and he leaves as if it's like her brother or father. He's like, take care of her for me. Like, you met a half hour ago. Why don't you slow your
it's not
roll?
like and this movie even changed in time.
No, why don't you slow your roll, Rob Van
The sun
Dam?
was high the entire movie.
So then it's this big, long back and forth of catching Rob Van Dam swimming, and then the shark eats him. But it's surprisingly the least dramatic death in this movie. It actually looks like Rob Van Dam got tired and just sunk into the water.
He's like, all right, this is your scene.
Yeah, he just
dove under.
He just dove right under, and that's
And
literally
then
all
you
you
cut
see.
to a scene of a fake head floating in the water.
Yeah, I mean that's literally all you see. There's no ripples in the water from the shark attacking him. He's not flailing around. He doesn't get thrown about.
No,
he literally just dunks under, like someone had said, "Hey, get your hair wet," and he went right in, and that was it. And what ends up happening is that very last bag of garbage that Rob Van Dam threw in, the shark starts fighting over,
and then they eat themselves.
and the heads start eating each other,
Yeah,
and
that was the end of the show.
dies, just like that.
And then the end of the movie ended with a helicopter, and the two of them sitting on the boat. Roll
Greg
credits.
and Maggie, and that was it. That was the end of the movie.
You didn't give an explanation. She just goes, "Don't put your feet in the water."
Yeah, which I guess was supposed to be some like funny little comment, like we just dealt with a shark all day. Don't put your feet in the water, you know. But it didn't really deliver that way.
No.
So that was the movie, and I gotta say, I laughed so hard for this damn movie.
The movie was very funny.
Funny, in the bad way though.
Yes.
So we're gonna go with our final grades.
Yes. I give this movie an F for funny, and that's it. That's it. It's an F.
I am actually debating the shit out of my grade because I have no idea. Do I want to give it a good grade for entertaining me, or do I want to give it the bad grade for being so bad with unemotional people and just dumb movements and dumb sequences and
I think
horrible thought process?
Wasn't your crappiest grade like a C?
I think I've given movies F before. I think I gave Bikini Spring Break an F. Didn't I? Fuck that movie. But anyway, I really don't know what to give it. I'm debating. Help me.
Well, that's why I gave it an F for funny.
What does that mean? F
The movie sucked, but
So-
it was F for
But
funny.
is it an F that don't ever watch this movie?
If you want to laugh, watch it.
So then it shouldn't be an F.
I'm giving it an F.
You don't know how the grading system works. He doesn't know how the grading system works. So I'm okay.
F.
All right. C is the middle ground.
Yes.
If it's closer to an F, that means it's not worth your time. Don't watch it. Don't. Yeah.
Okay, so then am I up?
No, I'm talking about for my mental thought
Okay,
process
but
right here.
then let me not confuse them. So then my proper grade would be like. Why was I going to say E?
Sure. E for entertaining.
There you go. It was an F for funny and E for entertaining. Those are my grades. Thank you. Have a good night.
I'm gonna have to teach you the grading system after this.
I need to learn. My
I'm gonna
alphabet.
get. Okay. All right. My grade. I give this movie a C+. That's what I'm gonna give it because it is worth sitting down and watching if you have your friends over and you want to just have a fun time. Because this was actually funnier than some comedies.
It was
out there.
funny.
So I gave it a C+, and we're gonna give you a null and void because we don't really
All
know
right,
what you did.
I'll give it a D-. That's my appropriate grade. Not E for entertaining,
Oh,
not
God.
F for funny, not F for fucking movie. It's a D-.
I can't even take it. Okay, so that was our bad movie review this week on Three-Headed Shark Attack. Tune in next Tuesday. We did what we planned to do.
Yeah.
Tune in next Tuesday when we do a bad movie review on Killer Mermaid.
Oh, God.
I guess we're sticking with the ocean theme right
Yeah,
now.
why not?
Sure.
Maybe if we decide to switch it up, no, we're going to stick with that.
We're gonna stick with Killer Mermaid. I'm in the ocean mood now.
Yeah, let's go watch some more killer animals that
But
live in the ocean.
Until then, I'm Cope,
And I'm Matt.
and we'll see you next time, guys. Later.